Get this, adults with financial literacy skills have 82% more wealth than those who don't. From swimming lessons to piano classes, us parents invest in so many things to enrich our kids' lives. But are we investing in their future financial success? With Greenlight, you can teach your kids financial literacy skills like earning, saving, and investing. And this investment costs less than that after-school treat. Start prioritizing their financial education and future today with a risk-free trial at greenlight.com/Wondery. Greenlight.com/Wondery.
This is a mini meditation guided by Bombas. Repeat after me. I'm comfy. I'm cozy. I have 0 blisters on my toes. And that's because I wear Bombas, the softest socks, underwear, and t-shirts that give back. One purchased equals one donated. Now go to bombas.com/Wondery and use code WONDERY for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/Wondery and use code WONDERY at checkout.
Last week, we spent half the episode talking about politics. And so I think it's only fitting that this week we spent the whole episode talking about bugs.
Yes.
Creatures. You know? That's a Text Me Back guarantee.
You're doing authoritarianism with the media board.
Literally, you're doing authoritarianism with the media board. Actually, I'm doing free speech with the media board.
No, that's not true. You have not, without congressional authorization, you are taking advantage of the health of one of our most critical institutions, which is the media board.
Sorry,
you're
who
gutting it
you?
of its essential services.
Who elected you to podcast Congress?
Welcome to Text Me Back, the only podcast by 2 unelected billionaires who are gutting critical democratic institutions such as the podcast media board. I'm Megan Hatcher-Mays.
And I'm Lindy West.
You don't want to play your... Oh, there you go. Nice. I just want to say a couple weeks ago was your birthday and we posted about it on the podcast Instagram and people left so many wonderful comments for you because you are beloved, even though you're a troll and a demon. Yeah. But they love you nonetheless. And 2 different people logged on to say, happy birthday. My wish for you, Lindy, is to have unfettered access to the media board. And once again, I must say, what is wrong with you people? Are you well? Are you well?
They're people of taste.
Mm-mm.
They're people of principle. And they got on the computer and they said, give Lindy unfettered access to the media board. And
I hope you're happy, everyone.
Megan's trying to oppress me, just FYI.
Yeah, it's true.
Actually, you know what, Megan? We're not the authoritarian state and we're not democracy. You know what we do? You know what we are?
What do we do? What?
2 kings. We lead as 2 kings of the podcast.
We lead as 2 kings. Now, don't second guess me or ask. You requested.
Yep.
Yeah, we lead as 2 kings.
Welcome to Text Me Back, the only podcast hosted by 2 kings.
Baby, it's all legal now. No, we won't be explaining that reference. If you don't get it, you're canceled.
If you don't get it, you're normal.
Yeah, you're just a normal person going through life, probably well-adjusted.
Congratulations.
Congrats. I am proud of you. Well, okay. Shall we start the show for real this time?
Yeah.
We had a song and you got to mess with the media board. So what more could we possibly accomplish today?
It's out of my system.
I don't believe you. But we have an exciting show for you today. We're going to be revisiting Lindy's rebuilding year. We're checking in on the feet situation.
I got a big update.
Big foot update. Big alarming. A little bit alarming foot update for the people at home. So you won't want to miss that.
I don't feel safe.
And neither do my feet. Parentheses, okay feet. Aha. There she goes again. Having a blast.
Well, I was trying to do it after I said I don't feel safe, but then I'm not that good at the media board. And so I clicked the button wrong. So then instead I did it while you were making your joke. Sorry.
It's okay. I'm going to delete all the files out of the media board after this.
You're not allowed to. They belong to Riverside.
Riverside is not the boss of my media board. Okay. Anyways, excuse me, our media board.
Thank you. Yeah. Interesting. She said the quiet part loud.
Fascism much? Question mark? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay. Now it's out of my system. I closed the tab. I don't even have it.
I totally believe you. Because I'm stupid.
Meagan, I am many things. I'm unreliable. I'm annoying.
Yes,
I'm
correct.
stupid.
Indeed.
I'm sweaty.
For sure.
I'm not a liar. And when I tell you right now that the media board is over for the day, you can count on that. That's the Lindy West guarantee.
Listeners, let's place a bet, shall we? She's going to press it. And fool me once, shame on me. No, fool me twice, can't get fooled again. Now I see where George W. Bush ran into trouble with that saying. Anyway, so we're going to be talking about feet. That's important. And we're bringing back a beloved segment that we call Normal News.
Do you have a jingle?
No, we don't have one for that.
But I think
in the past we've done like normal news. So you can have that. But first, I want to provide a quick update about my Buggies, which you may remember.
You know how hard I wanted to do applause sound effect after you said your Buggies, but I didn't, Meagan.
Okay, I'm proud of you. We're rebuilding trust on this podcast here today. Anyways, a while ago, I had a huge fungus gnat infestation in my houseplants, and so I bought some beneficial nematodes to chomp, 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 chomp all the fungus gnats, and it worked amazing. Like nothing has worked better than anything I've tried than these beneficial nematodes. But as you all may or may not recall, they shipped the beneficial nematodes to the wrong person. My phone number was on the outside of the package, so she called me to say, Meagan, come get your Buggies. I don't want these. I don't want them. And so I did, and I tried to apologize, and she was like, get out of my house. Anyway, so I noticed recently just a small, not alarming, but a return of the fungus gnat. I've seen a couple fungus gnats, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get more beneficial Buggies before this turns into a full-blown situation. So I ordered some more beneficial nematodes, and I was like, surely they won't do this twice. They're not going to deliver them to the wrong lady. Oh, ho, ho. But they did. I got a notification from FedEx, and they showed a picture of where they delivered it, and it was fully the lobby of that building where the Buggies lady lives. And I was like, oh no.
This is not a neighbor that you know. This is a random woman that you are torturing.
Like around the block from my house. It's like same street number, but different street entirely. I do not know this person. And you are correct. At this point, I am bullying her by sending her live insects, because the outside of the envelope is like live insects. Do not, like perishable. And of course she's like, oh, Lord. So I felt really bad. I walked up there to see if I could get them, but maybe before she got home, but it was already gone.
That's why you shouldn't have nematodes running your office.
Exactly.
They'll mess up the mailing address every time.
So anyways, and I was like, well, and I thought I could hear her, but I didn't want to bug her. Oops. I didn't want to bother her and be like, did you get my package? So I was like, whatever, it's a lost cause. I'm sure she got them and was like, fuck this lady. And then immediately threw them in the garbage can. Yeah. So then I'm like, why does this keep happening? Because like FedEx knows where I live. So I go back and look at the order. When I placed the order, I punched in my address correctly because I know where I live. And then when they shipped it, for some reason, they changed the Buggy website, changed the address to this completely other address.
You know why?
Different address. Because they want to bully that lady.
Because nematodes only have one finger. It's hard for them to get the
really
address
hard.
precise.
It's really hard to type. So they changed it to a completely different address and shipped it to her. And I was like, so I messaged them to be like, you shipped this to the wrong address. Can you just ship it again? Because I thought it was a lost cause. 2 hours later, I get a knock at my door. I open up the door and there she is. It's the buggy lady. Like she remembered where I lived because we had talked about it a little bit. And she had brought her baby, who was so cute, by the way. And she's like, Megan, here you go. She just was like, had the face and posture of a woman who was fully over it. And I was like, I am so sorry. I can't believe this happened again. And she's like, okay. Just like
she
completely...
said, beep, boop, boop, Homeland Security. I'm being terrorized.
Attention, Guantanamo, because this is this is illegal. So I was like trying to apologize and she was like, whatever. So she left with her very, very adorable baby. I emailed the buggy people back to be like, never mind. She dropped him off. It's all good. Then I get an email from the buggy people today saying, we're shipping it again.
No.
And I looked at the order and I was like, no, please don't. No. And I looked at the order and it did have the wrong address on it. But then they sent me a new thing with the correct address. So at this point, I have no idea where the second batch of buggies is going.
Megan.
But I will
the third
not
batch
be...
of buggies, Megan?
Yeah, Megan? I know. So I was like, please, God, let that second order form be the correct one because I am going to self-immolate if they end up sending the buggies to that lady for the third time in a row. And if you're listening, woman, which you are definitely not, I am so sorry. I know.
If that lady gets a third shipment of buggies, Megan,
she's calling the police.
She is.
As she should.
As she should. At that point, it's not excusable. You can't, three times can't be a coincidence anymore.
I know. I am praying to the buggy overlords that they come to me. You know?
Can you talk to your postman? Like,
it's coming from FedEx. Yeah, so now what I'm thinking I might do, once I get the notification from FedEx, maybe I'll change the delivery to a FedEx location. Just go pick it up from there so she is not implicated.
Then you get there and she's the lady that works at the FedEx.
She's like, oh, God damn it. Megan, I don't want them. I don't want them. So that's the buggy update. Although I will say, despite the kerfuffle with this company, if you have fungus gnat, you gotta get you some buggies, man. You gotta do it. They're the best. Okay, let's move on to normal news. But first, we want to thank our beautiful and beloved friends at Magic Mind because they are sponsoring the show, which is so great because we love Magic Mind and we've been drinking it like for 3 months now, I think. Yeah, it's been going great.
This is a podcast about best friendship, and we found a new best friend named Magic Mind.
Yeah. Actually, our friendship is over. New best friend.
Yep.
Magic Mind.
I'm leaving the podcast, and Megan and a little bottle of Magic Mind are going to co-host.
Yeah, it's true.
Sorry. Bye.
It's going to be so cute, though.
And I'm going to go to someone's house and energize them in the morning. Anyway,
Magic Mind's going to take my job. I'm going to take Magic Mind's job.
Exactly. No, I could never do Magic Mind's job on the level of Magic Mind. Real talk, I have decided to stop drinking coffee or attempt because it makes my tummy feel bad and it makes my head sleepy. But I'm obsessed with having a morning ritual. I need to have a little treat in the morning. I need to have something that signifies that I have ceased being a sleepy girl and now I'm a wakey girl. Yeah. And so I've been having my little Magic Minds and it sets me up for the day way better than coffee. I don't feel weighed down and heavy and gunky the way that coffee makes me feel.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man, it's working for me. I'm loving it.
You know what I did? I put my little shot of Magic Mind in a smoothie the other day because, I don't eat enough fruit and veggies. So I've just been blending it up into smoothie form so that I'll eat it with a little bit of a protein powder because I also don't get enough protein.
Yeah.
And it was really good. It was really nice. It added just like a little citrusy punch. I love to have it in the morning too. I'm kind of the same as you where coffee these days it's like a little bit harder for me to drink every day. It does end up making me feel a little like, gutsy in the guts.
Yeah, right.
But so I've been liking the Magic Mind because it just gives me a little bit of a boost without the side effects of coffee. So I've been enjoying that. I think it tastes good, by the way. So give it a shot. Try out Magic Mind.
I would recommend it to anyone who wants to change up their morning routine, who feels like coffee's not serving them and their best, highest self, and who also, like me, hates and despises energy drinks. Not only their vibe, but also their taste and their effects. I don't want one of those within 100 miles of me. And what I like about Magic Mind is that it feels wholesome. It feels like a crunchy, sort of natural hippie treat that was made to make me better in the head, you know, and not palpitations in the heart.
Yeah. It feels like, you know, an energy drink is screaming at you. And Magic Mind just wants you to enjoy your little day. And I will. Thank you, Magic Mind.
Thank you, Magic Mind. I do. My family enjoys it because I, you know, pay the bills on time. And my podcast co-host enjoys it because I remember to open the spreadsheet before we start recording.
Yeah. It makes her more alert and able to access the media board, which we all love.
And that's all thanks to Magic Mind.
Thank you, Magic Mind. So if you want to give Magic Mind a shot, go to magicmind.com/textmeback and you can use our code. You can get up to 48% off with the code TEXTMEBACK20. So give it a shot and let us know if you like it.
Let us know if you like it.
Thanks again to our friends at Magic Mind. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to find out how Lindy's rebuilding year is going. And yes, it involves feet.
Oh, brother.
Last time we talked about your rebuilding year, there was a big emphasis on your Wikifeet score, which, if I recall correctly, was just okay. Okay feet.
Yes. My Wikifeet score, I think I got a 3 out of 5, parentheses, okay feet.
Yeah. And which is difficult because you don't have bad feet. You have nice arches. We've discussed this. And I think that our listeners were taken aback at this foot-based slight because everyone knows you can't properly rebuild your life unless you have award-winning feet, which is why we are focused so strongly on the foot rankings.
Megan, I don't need to win Feet of the Year, which is a category on Wikifeet.
Oh.
I don't need to win Feet of the Year, but I don't need libelous, slanderous, untrue, defamatory information out there telling people that my feet are just okay. And several people, in fact, voted ugly.
Oh,
so no, thank you.
Yikes. Attention, judiciary, because we have a case brewing against Wikifeet. By the way, I think more than any other episode, I heard from people IRL about your feet. From like people from Day Job LLC reaching out to me to be like, hey, I just wanted to let you know, I was going to go rank Lindy's feet, but I don't want to make a Wikifeet account. I hope that's okay. And I was like, girl, if you had made a Wikifeet account, I would have been so concerned for your, no, you did the right thing.
You and me both, sister.
But people wanted to help, you know?
People were so sweet and kind. And I do think that some Text Me Backalites did go ahead and make accounts because
I do too.
And you know who didn't go ahead and make an account? Me. Yeah. And I should, because it's annoying to me when I look at this. It's annoying. It says shoe size not set. I'd like to tell people that I'm an 11. I'm a healthy 11.
A robust size 11 women's.
So I'm considering making an account so that I can update my shoe size, but remains to be seen. But anyway, what I'm saying is, I think that some Text Me Backalites did take the plunge because my rating has soared.
Yes.
Megan.
Love it.
I log into this thing. I look at the score at the top of the page. It says Lindy West, rating 4 stars, parentheses, nice feet. That's right.
Take that, haters. Take that, haters.
Yeah. I don't remember how many votes I had last time, but I think it was like 5 or something.
Yeah.
Maybe like 8. It was like 3 votes for okay feet.
Yeah.
1 vote for nice feet. 1 vote for beautiful feet. 2 votes for ugly feet. I don't know.
Ugh,
It was like, it was under 10.
Yeah.
Now, Meagan, the total number of votes for my feet rating stats, 17 total votes.
Ooh.
We got 7 votes for beautiful feet. 1 vote for nice feet. 5 votes for okay feet, which kind of indicates that some Text Me Bagalites made accounts.
Yes.
They logged in. They looked
Took
at
a
the picture,
gander.
they looked at my feet. They said, I cannot tell a lie. They reinforced okay feet. That's fine.
We're about honesty on this show. We are about radical honesty on this show.
We've got 3 votes for bad feet, 1 vote for ugly feet. I'm going to choose to believe that those were there
just
before.
Misclicks or something.
Here's where it gets spooky, Meagan.
Yeah.
It's not just the votes that changed.
Mm.
Meagan, when we talked about Wikifeet last time on Lindy's rebuilding year, there were 3 pictures.
Yes.
Now there are 75 pictures.
Oh.
So someone who listens to this podcast went ahead and did the work. They put in the time.
Yes.
They uploaded every picture of my feet that has ever been posted.
And can I say just one quick thing? The 3 photos that were there before were like from public events, like you on the red carpet for the Shrill premiere, you at like a speaking engagement. So these were like Getty photos. They were not like personal photos.
I would argue may even have been sort of auto-populated because Wikifeet does link to my IMDb page. So like it's possible that it just has a robot that like pulls Getty images. The photo gallery now, Meagan, of 75 photos, it contains, yes, Getty images, even more Getty images that weren't there before.
Yeah.
But also images from my Instagram dating back to 2017, 2016, 2015.
May I also add that some of them are from your Instagram stories, which, as we all know, are temporary.
Yes.
So questions are being raised. That's all.
Yeah. And this happened in the blink of an eye, which leads one to wonder, does someone, and if this person exists, they're listening right now, does someone have a folder?
Yes.
That they've already downloaded, and then they were able to just go to Wikifeet and upload in one click.
For me, that's the main question that is being raised, given the evidence. I feel like the Instagram story thing is really wild because given that they disappear, and I don't think that you have like highlights necessarily that people, because you can put like highlights of your old stories.
I might.
So it's possible somebody had like gone through the highlights and found feet pics, but it really is giving, I saw it when it happened and I took a screen grab when it happened. I yoinked it.
For later.
And so, so there's like 10 years worth of Lindy's feet photos on Wikifeet now.
And look, I said this last time. If you're into feet, I don't think that that's depraved. I appreciate the compliment. The having of the folder is, I guess it's fine.
But here's the thing. I'm like, why did this person wait so long to upload the feet?
Right.
Pics?
That's
an
argument against it being one big fan with a folder.
Well, it's interesting because it's like, if this is a connoisseur of your feet, they should have been defending your honor sooner with this very low foot score.
Yes.
However, I do feel like their contributions have contributed to the newfound success of your feet. So shout out to them. Thank you.
Lindy's rebuilding year is on the rise.
Seriously, maybe we call that a victory.
Oh.
And now we figure out like what's the next thing we need to check off our rebuilding year list, because feet, that's solved.
Feet is done and dusted, Megs.
Yeah.
It's handled. We handled it. Thanks to the Text Me Back-a-lites and whatever little foot fairy this is.
The people have spoken. You have parentheses nice feet. You're not in the running for feet of the year.
Don't need to be.
You know?
Don't want to be.
And I think maybe we just take a break from posting feet pics for free online, you know?
Maybe I should make a foot business. All these girls are getting paid for all kinds of stuff, Megan.
I know. Well, that's the only job. As we've said, the only job is influencing and stealing. That's it. That's all we got going on.
Megan and I do both.
That's right. That's correct.
Well, anyway, that's my rebuilding year. Going great. So if I'm
what's next now that
if I'm rebuilding from the ground up, I guess next would be the knees. So
yeah, and how are those looking?
They're looking fine. They could probably use some physical therapy.
You'll work your way up to jade rolling the face. That'll be last. Sometime in October. We'll get to
maybe
the face.
I work from both ends simultaneously down to the middle.
And
chomp. And then
meet at the belly button.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be good. Yeah, that could be really good.
Finally get that thing cleaned out.
Because wow, you think the feet are bad. Just check out celebritybellybuttons.com. 1 parentheses bad belly button. Well, I'm proud of you. Haunted belly button. I'm really proud of you. I'm so excited to see where this goes. If you have a thought for what Lindy should do next.
I have been thinking about starting to jog very slowly again, which was a pastime of mine in 2022. I loved to go on a very slow jog. Although I think that that's not so much a rebuilding year for the knees as a breaking down year of the knees, but a rebuilding year of my cardiovascular endurance. So that counts.
That's a full body rebuilder.
My concern is that there's nowhere to run out here except for on the road. And I do feel like a cougar's going to pounce on me from a tree.
Yeah.
If you have advice on how worried I should be about a cougar pouncing on me from a tree, send us an email. Dear text me back at gmail.com.
If you're a cougar, give us a call. 703-829-0003. Let us know. Would Lindy running down the road be like a very large cat dancer for you, where you would feel like you needed to pounce? Let us know. Give us a call.
It's like a cartoon where they look at me and then they just see a big turkey, a big roast turkey.
Give us a call, cougars. Let us know. Let us know if that's what would happen. Please. If she went for a jog. Thank you. Congrats again, Lindy. And we'll be right back with normal news. We're back with a beloved segment that doesn't have an official jingle, but here's one. Normal news.
It's British.
It's like, because the BBC is always delivering hard-hitting normal news.
Exactly.
That's what they say. Lindy, what's happening in your world that's normal?
Oh, Megan. What's not normal in my world? Now, multiple text me back-a-lites messaged me about this news story, this normal news story. And you know what? I'd already seen it because Daddy Algorithm already served it to me because he knew.
He knows what you're about.
But I love to be seen in this comprehensive way. So I thank the text me back-a-lites from the bottom of my ass. This is an article from National Geographic, the famous magazine. And they are here to say that more than 90% of the creatures living in the ocean have yet to be described. And so it's not that surprising that scientists continue to find new species of fish, crustaceans, jellies, and sea slugs each time they venture into the ocean's deepest, darkest haunts. But sometimes they encounter a creature so strange, it defies quick categorization. So, in 2001, a research submersible from Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute dove down to the depths between 2,700 and 7,200 feet off the coast of California. And there, quote, in the lightless midnight zone, named for the fact that no surface light reaches those depths, they came face to face with a translucent pink blob about the size of a hazelnut, end quote. So Bruce, one of the scientists, he says it was bigger than most of the small particles that they were encountering in the midnight zone. They zoomed in on it with the camera, and what did they see, Megan? A pig's ass.
Okay. That's so normal.
They saw the very normal sight of a pig's ass the size of a hazelnut floating alone in the midnight zone.
Yes.
And scientists are only human. And also they're committed to accuracy. And so someone in the submarine said, it looks like a pig's butt. And everybody laughed and they agreed. They made a pledge, Megan, in the submersible. They held hands and they prayed together. and they made a pledge, the pig butt pledge, that once this little guy was formally identified and named, they were going to name it Pig Butt. Okay. 24 years pass.
Yes.
Finally, someone at the Smithsonian question mark is like, guess what? We figured out what this is. It's a baby bristleworm, but it's huge. It's 10 to 20 times the size of any bristleworm larva she'd ever seen. Her name's her name is Karen. She's like, this is a worm shaped like a pig's ass that is more huge than any worm we've seen. And so now, finally, after a quarter of a century, this little guy has his name, and his name is pig butt worm. Oh. And that's the science. That's what the scientists are saying, Megan.
Yeah.
And also, Megan?
Yes.
The pig butt worms can glow.
Oh.
Yeah, they're luminescent. And they were, quote, frequently attached to a sort of amorphous mucus cloud.
Gross.
So relatable.
What is the pig butt worm's purpose on this earth?
Well, the pig butt worm likely feeds upon marine snow, fecal pellets, and other pieces of crap that become ensnared in its snot cloud.
Oh,
says
my God.
The scientist.
Thank you, science.
Yeah, they're bioluminescent. If you poke them gently, they'll flash blue light and their mucus nets will glow green. Same, girl, same.
No, for sure, babe. Well, here's what I will say. I have seen a photo of this now. It's a very accurate name for this worm. It looks exactly like a pig butt. And, in the past, we have called for more creative naming of scientific discoveries, because usually scientists will just find something on the ground and call it Terra dog or
Wormus
something.
groundus.
Okay, boring. And that is why we felt very strongly that enormous anaconda that was discovered by Professor Dr. Freakvonk should be named Freakaconda. Also, may she rest in peace. I still can't believe that happened. And so what I like about this is that these scientists said this is funny. And they are right. It is really funny to name your discovery pig butt worm.
Yeah, they said we're gonna do the pig butt challenge, and then they did.
And then they did.
And
good for them.
You asked what is the purpose of pig butt worm, which is, first of all, a cruel fascist question. The purpose of it is to exist because it does. And it's one of the beautiful creatures of Mother Nature, one of Gaia's children. But pig butt worm has served a very important purpose this very time in which we are living in 2025, which is that it brought the people hope.
Oh,
it went out on the blue sky and people said, I'm gonna live another day because I know that, according to scientist Rebecca Helm, quote, "It makes me happy to think that right now somewhere out there millions of pig butt worms are tumbling through the ocean depths."
That makes her happy.
It makes all of us happy.
Shout out to resistance hero pig butt worm.
Yeah, pig butt worms like that dog in Brazil or whatever.
Yeah, that was going to all the protests.
Yeah,
that's pig butt worm.
That's pig butt worm, baby.
I saw her outside the Treasury protesting Doge. Thank you, pig butt worm.
Thanks, pig butt worm. Oh, I love pig butt worm.
And thanks to everyone who sent in pig butt worm. She's beautiful.
I think really the purpose of a little worm in the ocean is probably to like eat, waste, and then also be eaten by bigger creatures.
Yeah, just to quietly and casually form the entire basis of the food ecosystem in the ocean. Well, shout out to her. Thank you, girl.
Shout out to her. Girl boss.
I hope she's not all full of microplastics, but I bet she is. Sorry. I wish I hadn't said that. Do you want to hear my normal news?
More than anything.
Normal news. Mine is also Animalian. And I didn't just Google weird news because I forgot we were doing this segment until 5 minutes before
what do you
we
mean? Why would you
on.
Google weird news?
I mean, I Googled
news.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I misspoke. Oopsie. I Googled normal news.
Megan, did you have your magic mind today?
Wow. Oops. I Googled what's the most normal news that has happened.
Right.
And then the search was returned to me. Okay. We all know and love the Transportation Security Administration, also known as TSA. No, it's one of the worst things about flying, but sometimes, occasionally, they find something good when they are X-raying your privates, potentially in violation of the Fourth Amendment, before you get on your airplane.
They find something good every time they X-ray my privates, Megan. It's called a bioluminescent mucus cloud.
Ever heard of it? Oh. And this time, there they were, the TSA, minding their business in the Newark International Airport, doing their little genital scans. And they were like, what's this unusual mass in this passenger's pants? Oh. So he was pulled aside. And just really quickly, I think what I like most about this story is the discovery that other people get pulled aside for a secondary search at TSA. Because sometimes I feel so alone, you know?
Yeah.
As a racially ambiguous presenting woman who has brown hair, I don't think I've made it through the airport once in the last year without them rubbing my hand with some sort of pad. You know what I mean?
I never get pulled over unless one time I had a candle and they said, what's this? It looks like a bomb. And I said, it's a candle. And he was like, oh yeah, we got a lot of candles. And I said, okay, well, why don't you identify it as a candle then if this happens all the time? Anyway, doesn't matter.
I think I've already told this story, but I did once get pulled aside because I had a block of Tillamook cheese in my bag. And they were like, if you tell us now, if there is anything you want to say it now. It was like this whole atmosphere of stress. And I was like, what on earth? I was like, is this about lotion? What is this about? And it was the brick of cheese. They thought it was something else. Brick shaped, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Did they confiscate it?
No, I got to keep it.
Oh, good.
Because it was just cheese at the end of the day.
Right.
Anyway, so this gentleman, a Pennsylvania man, we do not know his name. He was traveling through the airport. He triggered an alarm when he walked through the body scanner. And the source of the trigger was, quote, in the area of the man's groin. So he was taken for a pat down, at which point he reached into the front of his pants and pulled out a live turtle. The turtle was wrapped in a blue towel and was identified as a red-eared slider.
Red-eared slider?
Yeah.
I mean, a very common turtle. They're all over the place.
Well, that's what makes this story so interesting and extremely normal is that of all the turtles to smuggle, why one that's like native to America and not exotic in any way that I am aware of?
The most normal turtle.
Befuddled. I know. Yeah. So it's literally normal news because this is the most normal turtle that we've got, basically, except for like the box turtles that you see, I think, from time to time. But anyways, it's just the TSA is befuddled by this because it's not an exotic in any way.
No, in fact, I think they're invasive. They're all over Lake Washington. And I think they were pets that were released.
That's what they're saying is that the only weird thing about it or the only abnormal thing about this story is that, they're invasive in New York. I think some people have let them go in Central Park or something like that. So that's why they confiscated the turtle. But it just is a weird thing to smuggle onto a plane. It's not like, usually if someone is smuggling something of that variety, it's because it's worth a lot of money or you're going to sell it or do, whatever.
You're not allowed to have, it's a forbidden
You're not allowed
turtle.
to have it. But it's not really forbidden. It's just not allowed in New York.
But you're definitely allowed to put a turtle in a turtle carrier and just put it under the seat.
Exactly. If I wanted to, I could put Kevin in a carrier and put him under the seat and fly him around. I don't see why it would be different for a turtle. Are people allergic to turtles? No, right? I don't know.
Wait, I know. Was the man a human-sized rat? Because maybe he was trying to smuggle the turtle away to save it from Shredder.
That is a really good point that is not addressed in this very normal news article about the event. So some more reporting, I think, is needed here.
Well, I, for one, can't wait for the truth to come out when Donald Trump finally declassifies the president's book of secrets of the ooze.
We're all waiting with bated breath. So anyway, this turtle, it is invasive in New York, but it does say it's one of the most common turtles found in New York City. So everything about this is very interesting. Why down the pants? Why in a towel? Why not in a little carrier? But TSA says they've confiscated the turtle. He is in good health and nobody knows what was up with this man's whole deal. So
he was trying to escape New York with the turtle? He was trying to leave.
I think he was coming into Newark.
But you don't go through TSA when you come in. You don't go through the scanner.
Oh.
He was trying
I guess he was trying to abscond the East Coast with the turtle. Fascinating.
Was he using the turtle as sort of a athletic cup to protect his nads?
Again, I think, unfortunately, more reporting is necessary. I think that this scandal goes all the way to the top. What is it that TSA isn't telling us about this turtle?
How do we know that the turtle wasn't in control?
We don't. It could have been a Ratatouille situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe
Right.
now that guy's going to lose his Michelin star. I hope you're happy, TSA.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot.
Well, that was a really good normal news. I have one more mini normal news.
Go on.
Really quick. And guess what, Megan? This one, I don't have the article pulled up. And you know what else? It wasn't an article. It was a TikTok. I learned last night when I was scrolling at 4 a.m. that they figured out that the way that humpback whales migrate millions of miles, however many miles it is around to go around the world, because humpback whales do these huge migrations apparently. And everyone's like, how do they navigate? How do they know how to swim from Alaska to South
Mexico,
Africa or whatever?
Right?
Yeah. And the scientists figured out that, you know how the humpbacks have warts on their face?
Yes.
They got warts all over their face. So the scientists were like, let's look inside the warts. And maybe they have some kind of a little compass in there. Maybe, we don't know. We don't know what it could possibly be. They look in there. They're like, there's some bacteria in here.
Mm.
Let's grab some of that. Take that out. They go to the lab. They look at the bacteria under a microscope. The bacteria are magnets, and the bacteria, no matter how hard you shake them up, they reorient to point toward true north. They turn their faces to the North Pole and they say that way. And so the humpback whales, they said, climb on in here, live in my warts, and then you can help me go on my big migration. And allegedly, sea turtles and penguins are doing this as well.
Is this a real story, or is this like the ice wall?
No, it's real. It showed a picture of the bacteria wiggling around and turning.
Who posted this? Was it the ice wall guy?
I don't know, Megan. I woke up at 4 a.m. and then I thought I'll just look at my phone for 5 minutes, and then I don't know, the sun came up. It was 7:30. I couldn't tell you. I was deep in the algorithm.
Yeah.
I have no magnet bacteria of my own to point me back toward that account. I don't know.
The algorithm is messing with your face bacteria that tells you what time of day it is.
The algorithm is the ocean, and I am adrift. I am migrating, but I know not where.
I have not the correct bacteria to save myself from its clutches.
But it's true. It seems true to me. So I don't know how else they would do it. So.
You are a current or former employee of NOAA and you know about this bacteria, will you give us a call? 703-829-0003. I have my suspicions about the face bacteria, but I'd love to hear from you, science.
Oh, what's your suspicion? Like, you have suspicion. Okay. Based on what? Also, if you work for NOAA, this podcast supports you and we love you.
We love you. I'm so sorry. Love you, babes, so much.
We honor you.
And I'm so sorry.
Forever.
And I'm worried about the orcas, so much so that I can't talk about it.
Nope.
So
goodbye.
All right. Well, that was normal news. If you have a normal news headline,
I would love the listeners to submit their own normal news.
You can email it, text it. You could DM us on Instagram at TextMeBackPod. Just let us know what very normal things are happening on your algorithm or in your newspapers.
Please.
That'd be great.
I think that now more than ever, we need to spend at least 10 minutes a day thinking about worms and bacteria and whales and turtles. That's the only way.
I agree.
It's actually anti-fascist praxis. Yeah. And join me, won't you?
How about this? How many turtles did you see at January 6th? None. So you know that they're legit. Okay, we'll be right back. And then the show will be over. Well, Lindy.
Well, Megan.
Well, listeners.
Oh,
we've done it again.
Listeners.
I know. Thanks, listeners. Hope you enjoyed today's show. We've done it again. I think your lives have been enriched.
I think this was a real classic episode of Text Me Back.
Oh, yeah.
I think it had everything.
Yeah, totally. It had TSA. It had turtles in people's pants. What's not to like?
I love that the turtle was in his pants. I have so many more questions. Did he have special underwear? How was the turtle secured?
I know. Was it like a baby Bjorn down there?
How big did his pants look? Did he look like he had a great big crotch?
Was he wearing joggers?
He had a turtle wrapped in a towel? How did he stop the turtle from falling down one leg?
Did he kidnap the turtle from Central Park? Like, what happened there?
Okay.
Is he good?
So many questions. Last week, we spent half the episode talking about politics. And so I think it's only fitting that this week we spent the whole episode talking about bugs.
Yes.
Creatures. You know? That's a Text Me Back guarantee.
That's a Text Me Back guarantee, which is that we can't think about that too much. We'd rather talk about bugs and ghosts and stuff. That's easier to manage, emotionally. Well, I hope you enjoyed the program. We'll be back next week with more information that will be useful. Yes.
Megan, I love talking and doing information.
We'll see if any more turtles turned up.
Oh,
and
yeah, maybe a spiny soft shell this time. That'd be something. That would be cool as hell. Something to think
Absolutely.
about. Megan,
yes.
I won the bet.
Okay.
I didn't do any more media board after I said I wouldn't. Why can't I? Okay, so you're mad at me when I do the thing that I want to do, and you're still mad at me when I do the thing that you want me to do.
You're such a troll.
What kind of justice is that?
You're such a troll. This will be deleted. We could say anything we wanted, and you'd never know because we're deleting it. Pee pee poo poo. Ding dong diarrhea. Okay. You're listening to the show and subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/textmebackpod. We'll see you next week.
And tell your friends, by the way, to share our podcast, like and subscribe, and leave us comments and accolades on Apple Podcasts, but also on Spotify.
Yeah. You've been getting a lot of comments on Spotify, which is always a gas.
I think it's fun on Spotify because you can comment on individual episodes, and I want to know what you're saying. I only recently discovered that we even had comments on Spotify, and I was like, chop, 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 as Megan would say.
Oh, I'm really sorry because we're trying to wrap this up, but I have a correction.
Please.
I'm so sorry. Last week when we were talking about trains, we were talking about the conductor on Thomas,
right,
the tank engine. And we kept saying interchangeably the conductor and George Carlin.
Right.
Many of you wrote in to say the conductor on Thomas the Tank Engine is a man named Sir Topham Hatt with 2 T's.
Yes. Also known as the fat conductor, I think.
Also known in England as the fat controller.
Controller, that's right. Which I love.
Which is
representation matters.
Yeah, it goes back around from being like questionable to like really funny. So we're going to allow fat controller. And so everyone was like, where does George Carlin come into this? Because the man's name is Sir Topham Hatt. Who is Mr. Conductor?
And I specifically remember Sir Topham Hatt being a little puppet guy. So
yes. What happened was, I think just me, but maybe we both did, conflated.
No, I did too.
Thomas the Tank Engine with Shining Time Station. And in fact, those 2 shows do share a universe.
Yeah.
But anyways, the point is, in Shining Time Station, there was a character named Mr. Conductor. The role was originated by Ringo Starr for some reason. He left, George Carlin took over, and that's who I had in my mind when I was thinking of Mr. Conductor, but really the fat controller / Sir Topham Hatt is the conductor / controller of Thomas the Tank Engine, the animated series, I guess.
Right.
So.
And the name that I was searching for was Sir Topham Hatt.
Yes.
Because I knew that there was a funnier name than Mr. Controller, and that's what was driving me mad.
We would just like to apologize, and we regret the error, but you also don't need to keep writing in about it.
Also, we can't be blamed because I think we were like in high school by the time that, like, this is not our era of children's programming.
And I have my dogs don't watch children's television, so I don't know. I don't know what was going on, but there was a whole discussion about when was George Carlin ever on Thomas? He wasn't. Oopsie. He was on Shining Time Station. But it happened. It was real.
But I think Shining Time Station was like a shell corporation that would play Thomas shorts.
Yes, that's what I mean. I think they had like a shared universe. There was some overlap there, but they're 2 distinct guys.
Yeah.
Also, apparently, Sir Topham Hatt canonically died in 1966. So how do you like that? Yeah, I hope you're happy. Yeah, he's a ghost. By the way, I hope you're happy. All of this talk about Sir Topham Hatt sent me to his Wikipedia page where I discovered that he's dead. Don't tell your kids.
You're America's leading Sir Topham Hatt expert now.
Yeah. Anyway, so sorry for the confusion. We regret the error, and we will probably keep making all manner of stupid mistakes. So stay tuned for whatever those might be. Yeah. All right. See you next week.
Bye.
Subscribe to our Patreon.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to Text Me Back. If you like the show, please tell your best friend about us. Be sure to rate and review us. It helps people find the show. And most importantly, please support our Patreon so we can keep making this. It's patreon.com/textmebackpod. Text Me Back is a production of Megan and Lindy, proud members of the BFF Network. Our senior producer is Megan Hatcher-Mays. Our other senior producer is me. Our show is supported by Co-Pilot Collective and produced by Allie Slice. Our digital strategist is Chance Nichols.
Diana Bowen is our video and creative wizard. Our production team includes Lindy West, Megan Hatcher-Mays, our loves, our anxieties, and our fears.
Our music is by Chief Ahamefule J. Oluo.
Special thanks to our perfect angels, Jeannie Yandel, Brandy Fullwood, and Isolde Raftery.
I'm Lindy West.
And I'm Megan Hatcher-Mays. See you next week. Mwah!